As an engineer, computer engineering, I have seen so much problems. Sometimes I hack into the computer of someone else back then before I ordained to become a monk. Okay, I try to prove myself that I can do that, and I did. And that is the reason why when I became a monk, and I know that all the teachings of our Buddha is like everywhere on the internet. But those are a lot of sources for us to study, to research, but not a reliable source because it changed. Anybody can change it. Within one click, it can wipe everything, right? That is why the government sometimes have to pay a lot for the hackers to restore the system. And so by seeing that and knowing all that, I want to do something that is more like back to the ancient time, where we engrave it on the stone. I have heard and been told that many generations, many centuries, that this type of projects was only built by the king only. And now this time I'm the one of the normal people who made a vow to build. That is the reason why I see myself as running into so many challenges. And when I build this, when I make the vow about this publicly, and I get a lot of support from the Mahasangha, especially Sayadaw Tipitaka here with us. I'm very grateful. It's because junior like us, sometimes when we try to do something for the Buddha Sasana, it's very difficult for us when we don't have the support from the seniors. And I see myself as, now that even though an engineer, and there's a lot of things that I didn't know. There's a lot of things about the Buddha teachings that I did not know at all. And I asked myself, what about the future? My students and my students' students, and so on. What are they going to do if they learn the wrong thing? Where are they going to? Where are they going to go? And what about the Buddha teachings that we found is so much benefits to the world, to the people? And I have learned that meditation, mindfulness meditation, compassion and loving kindness. And I found that it's very benefits, right, to me and to many people, that I'll be able to help teenagers and people to overcome anxiety and depression. And I went to prison to teach as well meditation, to help the prisoners. And so the Buddha teachings, all his teachings are very, very valuable in this world for all beings. Just the mindfulness itself, that could help a lot of people, and I was be able to prove that during the walk for peace. We was be able to deliver that message, the practicing of love, of loving kindness and compassion and mindfulness to so many people. And a lot of them was be able to stand up again on their feet after so long, after sufferings for so long. And so I don't want that to be vanished in one day. That's the reason why I want to do this, to preserve his teachings for many future generations to come. And I truly believe it will bring a lot of benefits to the world. And that's why I made a vow that if I cannot finish it, I wish I were reborn until I can finish it. If I have to sacrifice my life for this project, I'm happy to do so. And people ask me how long it takes me to finish this project. I say, I don't know. It could be 10 years, could be 20 years, could be my whole life or the next life. I really don't know, but I just have to do it. And today, Sayadaw said, back then, Sayadaw said he would try to call for support to offer 1 Jedi. And now Sayadaw said 3 Jedi. That is a big support, right? We are very grateful to have Sayadaw and seniors like this to support our generations. Without the seniors, we couldn't do it. Very difficult for us because our voice cannot be heard, right? And so during the walk for peace, I have learned that all of us suffer, truly suffer, because, like I mentioned in my talk many times, at the beginning, I was just thinking that there will be some people who stop along the way for us. But I never expected that so many people come out on the road and wherever we stay. And now that millions and millions of people following and practicing, this is something that I have never expected before. But it turned out that way. People ask me, am I happy because with all that? I say yes. But at the same time, I also feel sad. It's because without suffering, people wouldn't come out like that. It tells me that a lot of sufferings around us, everywhere, around this country, in this country, and around the world. That is why when they see this movement and everybody come out to support, to walk with us like that. So we stop in Washington, D.C., and people ask, is this going to be the end of Walk for Peace? I say, no, this is just the beginning. Because now we have so many people walk with us in spirits, right? And just these days, so many people come to the temple to talk and to practice, and then wanting me to continue guide the practice in online, and ask me if me and all the monks will do another walk or not. Would you like us to walk again? Yes? Oh, please. We don't know about that, okay? But I say this is just the beginning of the Walk for Peace. So in the future, we really don't know what's going on in the future. But if we do have a chance, we will, but a short walk in Sri Lanka. This April, we will go to Sri Lanka to receive the Buddha relics and the sapling of the Bodhi tree, which is offered to the Dhamma Jedi projects. And then the Buddha relics was offered by Indian government and king back then to Sri Lanka over 2,300 years ago. And all those are certified legit relics, that we be able to obtain 5 Buddha relics total from different states in Sri Lanka to bring to United States. This is history. For all of us to have a chance to pay homage to the relics and the Bodhi tree. And so during this journey in Sri Lanka of receiving the relics and the tree, we will have a short walk for peace in Sri Lanka, only about 4 days. And that is another walk for peace, but it's super short. Okay, and then the future, we don't know, that, like I said, but we will try our best to continue this support to our nation and all the countries in this world. Even though at this time, many countries also invited us to come to their country to walk. And I have heard that many Sayadaw in Myanmar also talk about this walk for peace, and looking forward to see us in Myanmar as well, which I have been to Myanmar many times already, and it's a beautiful country, and we love to go to Myanmar again and again in the future. So today, I supposed to go to India. Today, I was invited to go to India at the Bodh Gaya. Then I already accept his invitation first. And so I decided to stay here with Sayadaw and everyone here. And so I have the privilege to speak in front of you all. Thank you so much for all this support and continued support for the Buddha Sasana and the peace in this world. I think that you have heard my talk a lot already, so I don't want to waste your time. But here am I to listen to your question, and I will try my best to answer your questions, if you have any. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. I pay respect to Tipikatas, Dakat Sayadaw, or Sayadaw, and Mahasangha. Hello everyone, how are you? Sitting here, listen to my bio. I didn't realize that long. I'm so sorry, Sayadaw, that it make you read for that long. And after all that, I'm still just one of the monk who work at the garden most of the time and serve the Buddha Sasana and support my teacher at the temple. And so that's it, that's me. So don't worry about that long bio. Just see me as one of the monks, same as everyone else. And I was fortunate enough to have some time to practice meditation continuously, and then be able to start on my Dhamma Jedi projects, which is my vow. After 7 years, making a vow silently in my head under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, India. And then after that, I got a chance to walk in India for 112 days. And now that I got another chance to walk in the United States for another 112 days, it's 109 days plus Maryland, that's 110. And then when we got back to the Hungdao Temple, that is 112 days. All these is because of my teachers. Without my teachers, I won't have this chance to do all that. And without the support from the Mahasangha and the support from the lay devotees, I would not be able to do all that. And I still remember when I make the vow in front of the Mahasangha, over 180 monks and nuns and lay devotees, over 3,000 people at the sacred land where I will be build the Dhamma Jedi projects, the ancient sacred Buddhist scriptures stupas projects. I made a vow saying that if I'm a lack of merit, I cannot finish these projects within this lifetime, then I wish that I will be reborn and reborn life after life until I get these projects completed. That was my vow in front of the Mahasangha and all the lay devotees. And up until now is like 3 years already after that vow. And this project is still not started yet. It's still under the process of architect, engineering, and all that studies from engineering firms. And so we hope that this project that said or Tibitaka mentioned earlier We hope that we can start this project, just the foundation of the Dhamma Jedi, in 2027. That was my hope, my wish. But not sure we be able to do it or not, because this project costs a lot. The reason why it costs so much is because I choose the material as stone. The reason why I chose stone is because I don't want to build in concrete. Concrete will last just probably 100 years. But I want this project to last for 1,000 years. And people ask me, why United States, but not in Asia? I say, because I live here. I reside here in the United States, and we have this land. And plus, United States is one of the country where we have a lot of scholar and a lot of people who will protect something that is valuable for this world.
Sarapya, last 5 months ago, I visited your temple, and that time, Tipikadra Syaro Padandakanamala Lingara and Tipikadra Syaro from Michigan State, and also the Rector Syaro Upinyetra, and Denver Syaro and Fort Worth Syaro as well in the same room. And I was paying respect, and the head Syaro came in and talked about the plan for the Walk for Peace. And he mentioned that the plan is to start from Fort Worth to Washington, D.C. And so I was shocked. Actually, I thought it was impossible to walk all the way from Fort Worth to Washington, D.C. But at the same time, I'm not so sure if it is possible and if it would be successful. And when your shadows started walking and I saw YouTube and how successful it is and how wonderful it is, and I was so pleased. My wife and I watch every night on YouTube for like 8 hours ago, 7 hours ago, 3 hours ago, 45 minutes, and we kept checking, and we were also so pleased. And I was also so surprised that the way you answer the questions, not only giving a speech, very difficult questions, the way you deal with the people who created some obstacles and difficulties, raising very difficult questions, problematic questions, and the way you answer, the way you act was like so wonderful. For that reason, we were so pleased, we were so proud, and thank you for all these wonderful things that you have basically done for all of us. And you spread the metta and loving kindness and compassion and kind to each other. All these things plus vipassana meditation teaching things that you spread is also so wonderful. And basically we were telling the people, whoever we know, we visited your temple before, and we also mentioned that Syara Unanda Mala Utilananda was here, and we basically offered Katane last year and so on. So we were so wonderful. But lastly,
what you have done for this world. I am a mother of 2 kids, and with this world full of materialist disturbance, I'm very concerned for my kids. And I also really want them to learn meditation when they're young. I'm trying my best to teach when I send them to school on the way. But I'm wondering, do you have any program or project for the kids so that they learn very early in their life and they can protect the suffering at the minimum? So I'm wondering, do you have any plan for the future generation that they can learn when they are young? Thank you.
Thank you. That is our future generations, and we must think of all that, all of them, because if they are very easy to train now when they're young, right? Like us, it's very difficult to train now because our bone and everything is just very difficult. But for the children, we must think of the ways to support. And I talk about this. I say the first thing that us as parents, we have to train them is to not to give them the opportunity to use the lovers too much in their daily life. That is the first thing that is needed, your support, which is you as a parent, you have to talk, you have to teach them not to use the phone too much during the day, during the night. And then when they come to the temple, that they cannot stay at the temple, all day, all night, right? You are the main person who can teach them meditation, which is liberating that phone. If you could do that, then when they come to the temple, they practice, it helps them to move forward faster. And I believe that all the temple also have like a Buddhist youth and things like that to support the children to practice and to learn. And myself, I also think a lot about the future. That's why I built this project, right? And of course, I will put some thoughts in my head to come up with something for the kids to practice. At our temple, we have Buddhist youth, about 70 kids every Sunday. And we continue to spread that, and hopefully that we can bring meditation. That is why I encourage the schools to have a meditation class in their program. And I love to have this in every school. This will help the kids a lot. Imagine if all the school integrate the Vipassana practice and mindfulness practicing into their system. This could help tremendously, right? So we'll do something about it. Thank you. I think it's enough for today. And thank you so much, everyone. May you all be well, happy, and be peaceful. Thank you.
We live in a world that rarely stops moving. From the moment our morning alarms shatter the quiet of the dawn, we are thrust into a relentless current of tasks, notifications, and obligations. We navigate crowded highways, seamlessly scrolling through infinite feeds of information, rushing toward destinations we barely have time to appreciate once we arrive. In this modern American landscape, speed is our default setting, and productivity is our most celebrated virtue. Yet, beneath the hum of our engines and the glow of our screens, there is a quiet, persistent yearning. It is a subtle ache for stillness, a deep-seated desire to simply catch our breath and feel the earth beneath our feet. We are a people hungry for peace, searching for it everywhere but in the present moment. Into this dizzying whirlwind of modern life steps a figure who embodies a radical counter-narrative, a Buddhist monk walking deliberately, step by mindful step, across the vast expanse of the country. Venerable Bhikkhu Panikkara, the spiritual leader of the Walk for Peace pilgrimage, invites us to pause and witness a different way of moving through the world. His journey is not merely a physical trek from one city to another, it is a profound invitation to return home to ourselves. When we observe a monk walking with such intentionality, we are not just watching a man on a journey, we are witnessing a living, breathing meditation. Every step becomes a testament to the power of arriving fully in the here and now. He reminds us that true peace is not a distant destination to be reached, but a way of traveling. It is an awakening to the sacredness of the ordinary, a gentle insistence that the life we are rushing through is the very life we are meant to cherish. Long before he donned the robes of a monk and committed his life to the slow, rhythmic cadence of walking meditation, Venerable Panikkara lived in a world that many of us know intimately well, the high-speed, high-stakes realm of computer engineering. He was immersed in the architecture of the digital age, a landscape defined by rapid processing, complex algorithms, and the constant drive to outsmart the system. By his own admission, he possessed the skills to hack into the computers of others, driven by a deeply human urge to prove his own intelligence and capability. This confession is startlingly relatable. How often do we, too, try to hack our own lives? We constantly seek shortcuts to happiness, relying on the latest apps, the newest trends, or the most efficient life hacks to bypass the messy, challenging work of genuine self-discovery. We try to prove our worth through our achievements, our job titles, and our social media profiles, building elaborate internal networks of ego and identity. Yet, the Venerable's transition from hacker to healer offers a profound lesson about the nature of truth. In the digital world he once mastered, information is endlessly abundant but inherently fragile. With a single click, a lifetime of data can be altered, corrupted, or entirely wiped away. It is a realm of profound impermanence, where what is true in the morning may be obsolete by nightfall. When he recognized this inherent instability, he realized that the profound teachings of mindfulness and compassion, though readily available on the internet, deserved a foundation far more enduring than a server farm. He saw that the true source code of human happiness, the ancient wisdom that alleviates suffering, cannot be left to the whims of a fragile digital ecosystem. It requires a different kind of preservation, a shift from the ephemeral to the eternal. This realization birthed a vision of staggering scope and breathtaking ambition, the Dhamma Jedi project. Moving as far away from the ephemeral nature of digital code as humanly possible, Venerable Panikkara resolved to carve the ancient teachings of peace and mindfulness into solid stone. He chose stone not for its aesthetic appeal, but for its profound resilience. While concrete might crumble after a century, stone endures. It stands as a silent sentinel against the erosion of time, capable of preserving wisdom for 4,000 years. In our modern culture, where we are accustomed to planned obsolescence and disposable goods, the concept of a 4,000-year project is almost unfathomable. We live in the age of next-day delivery and instant gratification. Our time horizons rarely extend beyond the next quarter or the next election cycle. Yet, here is a vision that stretches so far into the future that the one who builds it will never see its final impact. This is the ultimate expression of loving kindness, to plant a tree under whose shade you do not expect to sit. The Venerable's commitment is so absolute that he made a solemn vow. If he cannot complete this monumental task in his current lifetime, he wishes to be reborn, life after life, until the stone is fully carved. He is willing to sacrifice his very existence for the sake of future generations. This multi-lifetime vow is a powerful mirror held up to our own lives. It asks us to consider what we are building that will outlast us. We may not be carving ancient scriptures into granite, but every act of kindness, every moment of true presence we offer our children, every time we choose patience over anger, we are laying down stones of peace. We are building a legacy of mindfulness that ripples outward, long after our individual part in the story has concluded. It was this deep, enduring love for humanity that propelled the Walk for Peace, a journey that revealed the staggering depths of both human resilience and human suffering. When the Venerable first set out, he humbly anticipated that perhaps a few people might stop along the way to offer a greeting or share a moment of quiet. He could never have predicted the oceanic wave of humanity that would rise to meet him. Millions of people, from diverse walks of life, began following the journey, stepping out onto the asphalt to walk alongside him, or joining in spirit from their living rooms and kitchen tables. They came not just to see a spectacle, but because they were drawn by an irresistible gravity, the gravity of an authentic, compassionate presence. But the Venerable's reaction to this massive outpouring of support is deeply telling. When asked if he is happy about the success of the walk, he admits to a profound, bittersweet complexity. Yes, there is joy, but there is also a heavy, persistent sadness. Because he knows the unspoken truth behind the crowds, people would not be searching so desperately for peace if they were not in so much pain. The sheer number of people walking alongside him is a visual representation of the silent suffering that pervades our neighborhoods, our workplaces, and our own hearts. We are a society grappling with unprecedented levels of anxiety, depression, and a pervasive sense of isolation. We carry heavy burdens, often hidden behind polite smiles and busy schedules. When people saw this moving testament to loving kindness, they recognized an antidote to their quiet despair. The walk became a sanctuary in motion. It proved that the simple practices of mindfulness and compassion have the miraculous power to help people stand back up on their own 2 feet after suffering for so long. It is a reminder that we do not have to fix everything for everyone. Sometimes, simply walking alongside someone in their pain, with an open heart and a quiet mind, is the most profound healing we can offer. One might assume that a person leading such a massive, nationwide movement, while simultaneously orchestrating a multi-millennial architectural project, would adopt an air of grandeur. Yet, the essence of true mindfulness is an ego stripped of its armor. When the Venerable listens to his own lengthy biography being read aloud, his reaction is not one of pride, but of gentle, almost apologetic humility. He asks the audience to look past the grand achievements and see him simply as one of the monks who spends his time tending to the garden. This image of the gardener is a potent metaphor for the mindful life. A gardener does not force the plants to grow. A gardener simply tends to the soil, removes the weeds, provides water, and trusts the natural process of unfolding. In the same way, we are invited to tend to the garden of our own minds, gently pulling the weeds of resentment and watering the seeds of joy. Furthermore, the Venerable is quick to dissolve the American myth of the solo hero. He repeatedly emphasizes that none of these grand visions, neither the walk across the country nor the stones that will stand for millennia, are possible without the Sangha, the community of elders, peers, and lay supporters. He acknowledges that without the guidance of his teachers and the profound generosity of those who offer even the smallest support, his voice would remain unheard. This is a crucial lesson for our highly individualized culture. We often believe we must shoulder our burdens alone, fighting our way to peace through sheer willpower. But true peace is profoundly collaborative. We need each other. We need the wisdom of those who have walked the path before us, the companionship of those walking beside us, and the willingness to ask for, and receive, support. This deep sense of interconnectedness naturally extends to those who will walk the earth long after we are gone, our children. During a heartfelt exchange, a mother voiced a fear that resonates in the hearts of parents everywhere. How do we protect our children from the crushing anxiety of a materialistic, highly disturbed world? How do we equip them with the tools of mindfulness before the heavy conditioning of modern life takes root? The answer offered is both profoundly simple and incredibly challenging. It begins at home, in the quiet, unglamorous moments of daily life. The Venerable gently points out that before we can expect children to master formal meditation, we must first address the environment we create for them. We must be willing to set boundaries, particularly around the digital devices that fragment their attention and pull them away from the present moment. But more importantly, we cannot teach what we do not practice. If we want our children to be peaceful, we must model peace. When we put down our own phones, look our children in the eyes, and offer them our undivided, mindful presence, we are giving them the greatest spiritual teaching possible. We are showing them that they are worthy of our full attention, and that the present moment is a safe place to inhabit. Beyond the home, the vision expands to our educational systems. Imagine a world where schools integrate the practice of mindfulness as seamlessly as they teach mathematics or reading. Imagine children learning, from a young age, how to observe their breath, how to sit with difficult emotions without being consumed by them, and how to cultivate loving kindness for themselves and their classmates. Tending to the minds of the young is the most vital gardening we can do, for they are the ones who will inherit the earth we are currently shaping. As the Great Walk for Peace reached the nation's capital, a natural question arose: is this the end? The answer is a resounding, joyful no. Reaching Washington, D.C. was merely a physical milestone. The true journey of mindfulness has no final destination. It is a continuous, lifelong practice. The Venerable speaks of future walks, short journeys in Sri Lanka to honor ancient relics, and potential returns to places like Myanmar. These physical travels serve as beautiful metaphors for our own internal lives. We may reach moments of profound insight or achieve periods of deep calm, but life will inevitably present new challenges, new terrains to navigate, and new opportunities to practice patience and compassion. The Walk for Peace is not an event that happened on the highways of America. It is a movement that must continue in the hallways of our homes, the aisles of our grocery stores, and the quiet spaces of our own hearts. Every time we take a breath and choose not to react in anger, we are taking a step for peace. Every time we extend forgiveness to ourselves or another, we are continuing the pilgrimage. We do not need to walk 112 days across a continent to participate in this great awakening. We only need to take the very next step in front of us with a little more awareness, a little more gentleness, and a lot more love. The teachings have been offered, the path has been illuminated by those who walk ahead of us, and the stones of wisdom are waiting to be laid. The journey is entirely ours to embrace. May you find the courage to walk your own path, may your steps be grounded in loving kindness, and may you be truly, deeply peaceful.